We've got Paul and myself, Dylan. We're here to answer your questions and get you stoked for Survival Run Nicaragua, which is coming up in just a few weeks. About a month and a half.
That's a little better.
Yeah,
I better start training.
Yes, it would be good. Yeah, and we've really psyched to have you on. If you can just send comments, likes, harass us with all those hearts flying across the screen. And when we're done, share it and get the word out there. Very excited. So Paul, behind the camera, we've got Bree, like the cheese, Hemingway, the social media and volunteer coordinator for Sweaty Yeti. She's going to be quarterbacking us here in Yeti Central. And we've got Margaret Schlachter from Mud Run Guide and Dirt in Your Skirt doing a virtual quarterbacking. So Margaret will be answering some questions, some of the questions that come in on comments that just can be typed. Like, are you still taking registrations? And then Bree is going to be curating your questions here in the studio. And that lovely dulcet voice that comes in from off screen, that's her asking us your questions. We're going to have some shirt giveaways later. We're going to be asking questions. First person in with the right answer gets a Survival Run Canada shirt. But yeah, Paul, so thanks very much for coming in on this.
My pleasure, buddy.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
We can create a little more stoke, tell a few stories, and get some more faces and some more new bodies and more new energy on the beach for Nicaragua and for Survival Canada. That's my goal.
Very excited. Survival Run started off with Nicaragua, 2 awesome Australian editions, and then this year is going to be the first Canadian edition. Very, very psyched.
Epic, with a capital V. This will be.
Yeah. So, Paul, before we jump into the questions that came in on Facebook and Instagram, Survival Run Canada, and the Sweaty Yeti Instagram accounts. Before we jump to those questions, do you want to tell people just a little bit about yourself and why you're sitting here?
Yeah. Well, first of all, we're coming to you live from the beautiful, thriving metropolis of Squamish, British Columbia. We're at the foothills of the BC coastal mountains and right on the ocean. We're about 40 minutes north of Vancouver. I think it's the most beautiful place in the world.
We've both lived many places, and this is where we agree is the
think
best.
it's the most incredible training ground for things like ultramarathoning and survival runs and just being an adventure athlete. So anyways, I'm always proud of Squamish. I like to give it the proper props and attention. I currently share my time between here and Maui. And so it allows for some good warm weather training at this during the season. Anyways, I've got a long background of multi-sport expedition racing, adventure challenges, endurance mountain bike racing, ultra running for the last couple of years. And I raised a little kid, and
I'll be back in just a sec.
I find myself up here in BC coaching and putting on training camps and that type of thing for people that want to go fast and be strong and live longer. That's sort of my specialties. Well, here we're going on 10 months since we lined up in Nicaragua for what was our first survival run, and the staff and the team down there put on a incredible event. I'm a race promoter and organizer myself for many years. Expedition races, ultra marathons, mountain bike races, the whole 9 yards. And I've done event coordinating for years. And these guys are so professional. Somebody that's on top of the fence and want to know what this event's like, and organization-wise, professional level, it's tops. That whole team does a superb job covering all angles: safety, logistics, coordination, communication, medical, social media. It was all super good. So my hats off to them. I've seen it all. I've seen good, bad, ugly, and I put the Fuego Yawa team near the tops for sure. So another year of racing and ultramarathon coming up this year. All kinds of big stuff, long stuff, and trying to stay on top of my game is what's on tap right now. It's deep in the heart of winter, but keeping the training going and stoked for this opportunity. So
Great,
So-
fantastic.
I'm going to jump in there. How did you find out about Survival Run and why did you do it initially?
yeah, Bree asked, how did I find out about Survival Run? I got to point that to Yishai. Yishai up there in San Luis Obispo, who's part of the team, is a longtime friend of mine, and he's been telling me for a couple years about what's going on in Nicaragua. You got to come see what's going on down there. This is right up your alley, man. It's an ultra marathon on steroids, and you got to be a beast to even compete in this thing. And so I finally got the opportunity to. The stars aligned and the schedule opened up, so I coordinated with the organization and made my way down there. And that's how I found out about Survival Run. Man, it's
Yeah.
been glad ever since.
Yeah, and Paul is the reason I found out about Survival Run. Paul, I was taken down there on false pretenses. Paul told me initially that there's this lovely 100 kilometer trail run down there, and I just have to do a little bit of work on this crazy race, Survival Run. And then about 3 weeks before, he says, well, actually you're working on this trail run and competing in the Survival Run. So,
I forgot it went down like that. It's true.
yeah, so
Semantics.
Yeah, minor detail. I only found out a few weeks before that I was doing Survival Run, but boy, I'm very glad that I went down and did it.
So what you're saying is you only really need a few weeks of training for it?
If you live in Squamish, you only need a couple weeks of sharpening up for it.
Yes.
Full-time athlete, you can step into something like this and at least try to survive.
Mm-hmm. Great. Bree, shall we hit a couple of the questions that we got beforehand?
Sure. So first question is Alison Ty, who's currently registered for Survival Run Canada as well. She asked, what were the top 3 things that you prepared for?
Well, considering I only discovered shortly before that I was running, I think it's safe to say I didn't prepare. But so I'm going to field this one to Paul.
Well, the top 3 ways to prepare, really mentally, I think you've got to be able to handle totally anything that can be thrown at you and not freak out, not be traumatized, and just put your nose down to whatever challenge they throw at you. There is load carrying, there are physical challenges, mental challenges, some puzzle solving type of things that are all doable. They wouldn't make things impossible, and so they're tough. And so having a mindset, going in with a mindset that you are going to see and be asked to do some incredible things, and be ready for that and not freak out. Second thing is just having overall strength and body strength. There's some load carrying, and there's some skills and maneuvers and challenges that require full-on body strength. You take your average 130-pound ultra marathoner and ask him to carry 50 pounds of bananas for 12 hours. They'll crumple. So this is not an ultra marathon. It is so much more.
Yes, to second that, if I was competing again in Nicaragua, I would make sure that my running was top-notch. Although it's not purely an ultramarathon, as Paul says, running is the key skill. You've got to be able to keep moving. You've got to have good all-round body condition and body strength. You've got to have a reasonably strong upper body. You don't have to be able to bench press the 200 pounds, but you've got to be able to have good functional strength. Above all, though, where Paul started, the mental side. You've got to be able to go in and keep moving without expectations, without goals. Just keep moving. Because as you're going through that race, you don't know if you've got 30 kilometers or 50 kilometers left. You just know that you've got to keep moving forward.
My last thing is to pack light. I would prepare in very, very light. Hot trucks require very little extra apparel and extra needs, and just going free. It really works for me. I'm a light fanatic in all sports I do, but it was particularly good and it worked well for me. We both went really, really light, but some people were just loaded down. It's hot. Any 1 extra pound you carry there's an equivalent to time and stress in your body, and it's so good.
Except for water. Don't skimp on the water.
Expect the unexpected.
Yeah, there was one leg where I was personally expecting to be between water, no more than 2-3 hours between water. Ended up being 6 hours for me, and the tail enders, and for Paul, and for the tail enders it was more like 12 hours between water.
So someone's asked how do you prepare and manage your water for, I'm not sure how long that was, but for Survival Run Canada too, it's 24 to 36 hours.
Question is, how did you manage and prepare for calorie and water needs?
Yeah.
Yes, calories, if you're going in for 24 hours, expect to be running for the full 24, and whatever your normal race nutrition plan is. Remember, it's self-supported, you're carrying everything yourself. So if you carry gels, if you carry peanut butter, take that at the normal rate.
Calorie dense food. What you do decide to carry, you want maximum calories, and look for another chapter from this perhaps to get more detailed advice on that. But be prepared to go damn hungry. Be prepared to just really suffer and struggle on this. There is not consistency. There's nothing known ahead of time. We're sounding vague, and we're sounding. We survived. I mean, we had food, and we planned enough. There is villages, there's homes, there's farms along the way to beg for food, to pick off the land, off the trees. We did hit one place where we bought some. I bought some.
There were a couple places.
Bottle of something, and so it's there. Don't freak out about it. You'll have opportunity for food, but you've got to be prepared to run lean. That's for sure. I will add to that, and I will give my one nutrition tip on this, and that is electrolytes. Okay, so no matter what you do for food and so on, if you keep electrolytes going through the entire race, that's going to make a profound difference on how you adapt to your bonking and going with or without water. Electrolytes are key always, especially in the tropics. So there's a little nutrition tip for you.
Cool.
If I may. We got that big question about water from Monica. Please advise for the water challenges. How long do we have to swim, and how many miles, and how bad is the current? That was a big question for both of us, and everybody went in pretty gripped about the water.
It changes year to year, so don't take what our experience is definitive. But apart from the prologue challenge, where some people had to run, 300-400 meters out to Birdshot Island. We had, apart from that, it was no more than 200 meters of swimming at each obstacle.
Yeah.
That night one where we had,
So the question was about current, Monica. There was no current. Yeah. No current. This was still standing water, open water. If you can swim, if you can manage, if you can tread water, and you're strong, you can at least manage water. You'll probably be okay. This is not open ocean. Massive surf or that I know that we experienced anyhow. So
short of a storm coming in, no material waves, no currents.
It was so refreshing, man. I remember swimming in the middle of the night out in the lake out toward and I swam for a ways. I got a little off course and I swam for days, and God, it was so refreshing. I was just covered in bites and slime and dirt and so gross. And 2 a.m. in the morning out there swimming. And God, it felt amazing. So you'll probably like it.
Great questions.
All right. This is jumping a bit to a different topic. What was these are two different questions that have been asked, but I'll combine it. What was your best and worst moment or experience of the race?
All right. Who did those come from?
One came from DM, and that was the best one, and the most difficult moment. I just have an Instagram handle, Little Wild Girl of the Trails.
Okay, Little Wild Girl of the Trails, fantastic. A recent follower. Welcome to the tribe. I'll take a first stab at that. Lowest moment was a kilometer from the end. We were busy trying to put the bundle together. My mind just suddenly turned to mush, and I just couldn't figure out how to tie the bundle together. And I had about a minute of a moment. Best moment was Probably topping out on Madeiras, the moister, more vegetated volcano, dropping into the caldera. Paul and I were running together at that point, and we were moving efficiently and fast, and that felt great. How about you, Paul?
Low point. In this last year's challenge, there was an egg carry, right? You've seen this, you've read about this perhaps. I broke my egg, I think twice, and that resulted in penalties and a middle of the night scrounge in farmland, trying to get an egg, and it's a quite awesome long story. I'll tell you over tequila over in Nicaragua perhaps, but that was super low point. I thought I just jacked it all up. Here I'd been leading the whole race and just feeling strong, and all of a sudden something that was kind of out of my control. Well, it wasn't out of my control, but anyways, it happened. It was huge setbacks for me. I was just gutted, absolutely beat up from that. Highlight, man, running up that first volcano. I forget the name of it. Concepcion. My gosh, what a phenomenal volcano! Just 1,000 meters plus.
1,600.
1,500 meters. Giant. Be on top of that, and I took a minute off, and that's where I met Fraser. And wow. So that sticks in my head when I think of that race, and that was amazing. Would I do it again, Jamie? Would we do it again? I would do it again. Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
I like that stuff.
Yeah. The only thing the only thing I think I'm going to enjoy more than subjecting myself to that is subjecting other people to it on Survival Run Canada. But I'm going to be down in Nicaragua working there, so I look forward to seeing as many of you as possible. Great. Hit us up.
All right, so this is another pre-submitted question from Matt Dolitsky. He asks, other than being mentally and physically strong, what are some skills racers should have that will prepare them better for the race?
Something Josue is doing this year is putting together a series of short videos highlighting some of the skills, some of the tools, some of the techniques. Watch those. That's going to be really key. Looking back to last year, climbing trees was probably the main skill other than running and swimming.
Yeah, a whole lot of tree climbing, man. Some gnarly tree climbing. Exposed, big, serious tree climbing with risk involved.
How high do you reckon we climbed on some of those trees?
Oh God, that one going up, I was in tears. I was shattered. I was I could not get up.
At least 5-6 meters.
Yeah, I was gonna say 5 meters off the deck. And I was on a skinny one. That first one at the bottom of Concepcion, I was on a skinny tree. And I was 200 pounds plus, man, and I was hanging 5-6 meters off the ground. It was a sketch factor. I was puckered, man. I survived, but be prepared to climb trees and straight up coconut trees, right?
Those weren't coconut trees, but the previous year.
Be prepared, yeah, for that kind of stuff. Cool. You know how to climb trees.
At that one, I was also struggling to get up those trees. At that point, I was running with Helen Demar, complete weapon of a runner, only lady to have completed Nicaragua, and the only lady to have completed Australia. Very, very strong goal. She just walks up to the tree, shimmies up it. She'd done her homework. She knew how to get up the tree. But yeah, so that's one skill to practice.
So we've got a good question here from Heather Shannon. She asked, what generally is it that prevents people from finishing? Not making time hacks, not completing challenges, or giving up, or something else?
Heather asked, what generally prevents people from not finishing? You have a thought?
Yes, combination. First of all, Heather, welcome aboard. You're our most recent applicant that's been approved. Very excited to have you on. You are going to be a dangerous weapon out on the course. I'd say a lot of people they don't maintain good forward momentum. They get bogged down. They let their mind get beat up by the obstacles. I'd say that seems to be the main thing that stops people.
There's cutoff time, and you've got to move. You have got to move, and you've got to be.
You don't have to move fast, but you've got to keep moving.
Jeff Murphy reminded us 50% did not make it. past 8 hours, the time cutoffs are steep for a reason. If you're not making these time cutoffs at 8 hours and 10 hours, you are going to exponentially be much slower later down the course. And as if you're a race organizer and know anything about putting on events, you cannot have athletes strung out for 48 hours and across the whole. So they're in place for a reason. They're generally well thought out, and that's the way. That's the nature of survival run. It is for the toughest. It is geared to have a select finish, and it's there. It's doable. People finish every year. It's not impossible, and you've got to be tough as nails. You've got to be strong as shit, and that's my bottom line advice. You got to be strong. You got to be strong. I'm a CrossFit coach and CrossFit. So I do that in my other role a little bit, and that is a good thing to do. If you're not moving the barbell and you're not doing something to legitimately strengthen your body really well, or have it naturally and organically, like this South African, you got to get on the strength program. And what you could do in 6 weeks could be pretty damn good. But
yeah, but yeah. Just to reiterate, I was not moving very fast at any point. I started off one of the last people out of the prologue. I think you're an hour ahead of me at the start line. I just need to just keep moving. And people near me dropped off.
The climate is so tough there that taking time to rehydrate. You may come in aid station and there's people leaving, and you gotta do your own thing and hydrate a lot, because you will crash and burn if you're not well cared for. Badly.
Clarification: not aid station checkpoint. There are no aid stations. You except places you might be able to purchase some food. No, nothing.
Correct.
All right.
All right, we've got a question from Charity. She asked, do you recommend sleep deprivation training for this challenge?
I've never been a fan of sleep deprivation in training myself. I just go out and push the mind to stay strong. A bit of therapeutic hardship rather than sleep deprivation. What do you think?
Yeah, I believe if your body's well cared for and there's fuel and you're hydrated and all those really basic fundamental nutrition things that you, for 24 hours, 24 hours is not that long.
No, when you start getting to 3, 4, 5, 10 days.
You're going through one night, going into it rested for starters. It's extensive travel to get to Nicaragua, and you've got to have that you got to be a pro about getting into your hotel and getting sleep and getting to bed early, take some sleep aid, whatever it takes to get bang up those couple nights of sleep before, so you don't start out a race beat up and tired and have excuses like the plane was screwed up and my hotel was crappy and I couldn't sleep, it was too hot. All that stuff, that's amateur hour. You got to be a pro at traveling, and you got to be a pro at sleeping. All these things that are not ultra marathoning. Be good at that stuff, so you come in rested, and that you've eaten like your life depended on it for 48 hours going into the race, and then taking care of the electrolytes, the hydration, the food. That will generally keep your mind switched on. It's when you run out of fuel and run out of glycogen, and you're cramping, and your brain starves and gets all gunked up, and that'll make anybody just be beat 16, 18 hours in. Once it gets dark early there and then the tropics, so you got 8, 9, 10 o'clock, before you know it, you could be a little sleepy by 10 or 11 o'clock, and you got a whole long night, man. That night was long. We were working freaking hard that whole night. God damn, we were just, the urgency and the uncertainty. I've adventure raced, and you always know where the finish line is. You got a map, and you always know an ultra marathon, you're at 80 kilometers, or 80 miles, there's 20 miles to the finish line. At the survival run, there was such uncertainty that it was really mysterious and kind of cool. There was urgency, no matter what, no matter how big of a lead you thought you had, or no matter where you are, you're against the clock. You're against that cutoff time. So the constant urgency was pretty cool. It was a mind game that just, you had to continuously move. So that keeps you awake, kept me awake.
Yeah, but getting back to the training question, whereas I don't think either of us are a fan or would recommend sleep deprivation training per se, if you haven't run through the night a couple times, you're setting yourself up for a world of hurt. Go do a couple overnight runs, maybe just 12 hours, just run into the dark, and at the other end run out of the dark. Even 1 or 2 of those will really, really help.
Super.
Make sure you've got a brake system. You're going to have to be able to run with your head torch. You're going to be able to swim with your head torch. Get one that's bright, long battery life, waterproof. Great. Shoot us.
I'm gonna guess this question is for Dylan, and it's from Jeff Murphy. Did you really get a drink at the bar last year, or is that urban legend?
Paul and I did stop at the bar. Yes, we did.
Nice.
Yeah, that definitely kept us going.
Jeff Murphy also asked, this is Jesse Moreno. What were the average weight carries during the race?
It was 30 pounds for the plantains, for the guys, 20 for the ladies, 50 for the teams. Apart from that, we didn't really carry any heavy loads. It was bamboo.
Huge bamboos, which were 12 foot long and clumsy, and
but light, maybe 10 pounds.
Yeah, just that sack of plantains for 8 hours. 10?
You took to 6 hours. The tail enders were taking 12.
One of the hardest things I ever did in my life, that's for sure, was that section. So, yeah, be strength training. Be prepared to carry 50 pounds for 12 hours. Do it now.
Mentally, if not physically, the mind can pull you through that. Mm-hmm.
All right, next question from David Olson. Did you get there early to train on the island beforehand?
We spent a few days. I think we had 3 days. 3 days before we went out. Got a lot of running, especially in the heat of the day, coming from the Canadian winter, going into the Nicaraguan summer. It's the same temperature all the time, more or less. We made sure we got out there in the sun and got used to the heat.
Glad we did. You got to, there's only so much acclimatization that you can physiologically do, but more than anything, you mentally know. We had 3 days and we were out in the middle of the afternoon, just sun beaten. But what that does for you is it allows you to mentally know what that feels like, and you be able to regulate yourself a little better. Ideally, in a perfect world, go spend a week there, get in that sun, and let your body legitimately acclimatize to that heat.
Yeah, but even just a couple days makes a huge difference. Waiting for the ferry to Amatepe, Carl Peters and I went for a run just along the coast, and I was suffering. Was really in a world of hurt. Just a little 5K run. But 2 days later, body and my mind had adjusted, and it was hot, but it was manageable.
Extremely oppressive heat, like you can't believe. The people that will go in their basement on a treadmill and wrap up in trash bags and do the whole old Rocky and boxer thing. I'd say nothing wrong with that. If you got the time and energy, you want to prepare for heat.
Yeah. Okay, if you do struggle with heat, read up on the training that people do for bad water. You don't have to go that extreme, but it'll give you some ideas. Okay.
All right, so question from Brad, I'm probably going to say this wrong, Koenig. What is the one thing not on gear list that you wish you had brought or had more of?
What's the one thing on the gear list that we wish we had?
Wasn't on the gear list that you wish you had.
Wasn't on the gear list that we wish we had.
I've got one item, but which I'm not going to say because it would. I just feel like being cruel. This would make it take away too much of the pain, of the frustration. But a couple lengths of string. You need 100 feet according to the race requirements, and I'd say also bring a couple 6 foot lengths for just quick tie off jobs. That would be the one tip I would give.
Nothing. You got to have it up here. You got to have it up here, and some good nutrition, but it's got to be up here. I can't think of anything.
First, second, third, and then your physical equipment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What you got?
All right, Emily asks, I've heard the cold on Madeiras is crazy. What kind of cold are we talking?
You might possibly consider putting a light long sleeve on. Provided your nutrition's okay and you're not bonking, You're not going to suffer. Jumping into the water on Madeiros was refreshing. I'm glad I didn't have to spend an hour in it, but yeah.
We wore nothing for extra clothes.
No.
Some running shorts and a synthetic running top, and I didn't regret it one bit. I think this goes back to my light topic, man. If you want to finish this thing, you've got to take this thing seriously and legit, and not go up there for a picnic or a walkabout or a camp out. And so, if you do that, I believe you're simply asking yourself to be slow, and if you're slow, you'll be cut off and you'll be out of the race. So, if you're going to approach it to finish and to do this thing properly, you've got to be light and fast.
If you are
You
concerned,
got to be light and it's not that bad. You will not get hypothermia.
no.
You will not. It might, if you got up on a ridge and there's a breeze and you're sweaty, I don't know, it's refreshing. It might be a little cold. It's not legit real cold.
No, if you are concerned about the cold, if you tend to feel the cold, maybe bring some cycling arm warmers. They weigh 50 grams and they can just give you that little bit more comfort.
Maybe a super micro shell.
Yes, yeah, you can
Maybe.
get ones half the size of my fist, and
Maybe. I do.
that's it. That's for Nicaragua. Canada, different story. It's going to be getting legit cold. You're going to be on ice at times. So it's a different story. Next question.
Great, this one's from Hannah Lynn. Did you know in advance what the obstacles will be, and which one did you feel was the most difficult?
Hey, local question. Hi, Hannah. You aren't watching it right now, but you'll be watching the playback. Most difficult obstacle. I think that's a hands down. What would you say for that? I know what mine was.
Go ahead. Let me think.
Plantains.
Carrying the load carrier.
Yeah,
the load carrier was.
Yeah, if you're carrying 30 or 40 pounds now, just standing around here, carry it across the room. I could do it. It's one arm without blinking. Do it for 3-4 hours. It gets tiring. Do it for 6 or 12 hours. It becomes brutal.
The terrain was so brutal. The descending, coming down to no trail, just scree and carrying. It was definitely super mentally challenging. It was debilitating and tough. There were some tree climbs that were tough in a tough way. That first challenge, we had to build a raft and carry massive engine-sized boulders out to the island. Was really challenging in a team situation.
Yeah, those are tough, but
That load carry was off the charts.
yeah.
Love it. More.
So, follow up to that, were you ever at a point to consider giving up?
Were we at a point to consider giving up?
For myself, I tend to find my mind splits into two. There's one part that's always ready to give up. It's just going, I'm done, I'm fine, and the other part's going, yes, that's nice. Just go away into a corner and cry, and in the meanwhile, I'll keep the body moving forward. So provided you've always got that one part, you just keep moving forward. Yeah. Obviously, Paul's a machine. He doesn't understand what the word give up is.
Yeah, that's not something that's something I was near considering in this event. When we were in the front and knew that we were doing well and knew that everybody's giving the same shit sandwich, man. So that's racing. I've done a lot of this stuff. It's all up here. It's a conscious decision, I think. Can I ask about Oscar Romero here? Asked a good question.
Yeah.
Oscar Romero, what average running pace do you think you were to maintain to make the time cutoffs?
Well, 80 miles, 25 hours. 80 kilometers, 25 hours. So that's less than walking pace.
So it's not even important. As long as you're running and moving with some urgency, it's about the stopping. It's about the stopping. It's about looking for food and water, and it's about these challenges, and that stopping is what kills you. You just move at 5K an hour. You just move in a shuffle and a run, and if you just keep moving, you'll probably complete the survival run. Is that fair to say?
Oh yeah, a lot of
We
the
ran
way
hard.
we
I
were
ran
working-
damn hard at times, but at some times I was down to a crawl in the bush and climbing. So you can't put a pace on this kind of race, man. It would be unfair. There's no way to. You just got to move. You got to keep moving. Got to keep moving. As long as you're moving, and any opportunity to resupply and to look for food and so on, you just got to be quick. So that's the answer to that. Not a direct answer, but.
Yeah. So we've had quite a few questions about nutrition and hydration. So what were you carrying specifically last year?
Well, the question is focused on nutrition or general kit that we were carrying?
Nutrition and hydration wise. But maybe general would be good as well.
I relied heavily, and I still do, and I always will, and I'll give out my secret tip on this, which isn't so secret if you follow us on social, but it's Proven Nutrition makes Core. I really wish I had a package. Sorry, Richie. Core is a powdered beverage that is a silver bullet do-all. It's a pre, during, and a post, and an ultra marathoning fuel that is so complete. It's incredible. There's nothing else on the market like it. It's Core. Just Google Core from Proven Nutrition. Unbelievable for performance and constant source of amino acids and performance boosting ingredients. That's 3/4 of the pie for me in this event. It really was.
Well, food, it's whatever works for you. Core is great stuff. I'm moving more towards fat-based, protein-based nutrition. It's denser. My body doesn't bonk if I want some adapted to it. But bottom line, whatever works for you. Water, if you do your best to have about probably 3 liters, except when you're heading up Concepcion, carry 6-8 liters. The rest, I'm just trying to carry 2-3 liters and top it up at every opportunity. Yeah, that's on the food and beverage side. Then other material that we're carrying, it's just as we've said again and again, carry just the required equipment. What's on the required list? There was one runner last year that was carrying a kickboard and paddles and fins, and he didn't do himself any favors with that. The people going into these big military packs didn't do themselves any favors.
Oh man,
yeah.
I couldn't believe. A couple more nutrition, and I see we're getting chief here, especially wanting to know. I carry things like Justin's almond butter and peanut butter, very high calorie dense packet of food where you're just getting countless calories. Beeline Natural Energy is also one of my favorites. Beeline Natural Energy. It is 5 organic ingredients: chia, molasses, honey. Again, another carb source. Incredible food. Olives, pickles, things like that I'll just super wrapped, and I got them waterproof. And I just packed myself like a suicide bomb. Just had them tied on my Solomon vest. Every possible inch was packed with it. Trail mix, nuts, that calorie dense type food. You can try to perfect engineer the race, and you can try to count calories, and you can try to be high fat and protein, which I love and do and advocate for sure. But boy, the carbohydrates it's the heat and the fluid and carbohydrate burning is so high and quick that I need the carbs as well. So I hope those were a few good tips.
Yeah, robustness rather than trying to fine tune it.
So
yes.
On the subject of gear, Jesse asks, what is the best machete length? And I know, Paul, you have one here.
Well, I have right here the trophy.
Hey guys, introducing Ultra Pup, by the way. Come on, out the way. Good job.
This is a machete that was that's the trophy for the winner of the Survival Challenge, which Dylan and I share. This is what's that got to be, a 16-inch blade?
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, this is the type of machete you can buy on the island. You can get long, thin ones that have been sharpened to the heck. Josue is recommending a parang if you can get it, which is now a Malaysian equivalent of a machete.
Don't go skimpy on the machete. You will need it. You'll want it, and you'll want the thing to be sharp. Yeah. So take this for real. Practice with a machete. Cut some wood. Cut some branches. Practice not cutting off the limb and fingers, but take the machete serious. And when you need it, you need it, man. This is not for decoration, and we're hacking and cutting away some things in the race, and you got to know how to use a machete. It doesn't take much. It's not rocket science for sure, but
one piece of equipment that I might suggest you take that's not on the required list is a small file. Just a little 6-inch by half-inch metal file, just to to buff up the edge a little bit.
During the race? You know,
Yeah.
if it goes dull on you in the middle of the race and you got something like that, you'd be wishing you had brought one.
Yeah,
Because it sucks when a machete's blown.
We've had a request for you to answer this in Spanish.
No puedo, no puedo, no puedo. Who's giving me shit?
Margaret.
Margaret. ¿Qué quieres, Margaret? No. It's on the list this year. Jeff, what's on the list this year? What's on the list, Jeff?
A knife? I don't know, or a file?
A knife and machete.
I'm
A knife.
not sure. Anyway, shoot us another one.
How many times do we actually have to use our machete, or is a good knife more important? We use the machete. The fish. We're cutting some.
We didn't use it very often. It was making the raft. We were cutting the plantains. We were cutting the cord a couple times.
I guess I practice with it more than I did in the race. But you never know.
Yeah.
You never know. I wouldn't put it beyond the race directors to do something very, very intensive with machete. So just have a good one. Easy. You can get them there. We covered that, right? Get them on island. Get there early and.
You have to search for them, but they're not expensive.
Easy.
Yeah.
It's a very important question. What was your beer mile time?
That was my first beer mile, disclosure. I think I made about 8 minutes. So.
Wow.
I did not do the beer mile. I don't know what I was doing. I don't know what I missed the beer mile.
Now, if it was a tequila mile,
Oh, now we're talking. Now we're talking. I'd have been there. I'd have won that.
Okay, Jamie's asked this question,
Okay.
so I better ask it. Did you get along with your chicken?
My chicken and I, we were thinking about eloping by the end.
Bring a machete for your chicken. This is work really good for your chicken.
If Kate Ula hadn't been very specific that chicken had to arrive in good health, Paul's chicken would have ended up in the chopping block.
Worst moment. Okay, we asked earlier. The worst moment of the race. Worst experience of the race was the chicken carry for me. Effing nightmare. Worst. One of the worst racing experiences ever. I was handed a chicken that immediately tried to kill me. I put it in my arms, and it used its claws and its beak to try to kill me. And it was a nightmare. Midnight, 11 o'clock, what time was it? Late evening?
Yeah.
Whatever it was. And that was, I think, 10 kilometers to the end of that section. 10 long kilometers through the bush and all that. And had a little lead then. And I lost the ribbons and I lost the course at that point. And I'm carrying this chicken that was trying to kill me the entire time. So imagine carrying a chicken that took 2 hands to carry. So imagine I kept thinking of myself as a fullback in the NFL, trying to bust through the line, right? Carrying this chicken with all I had. I felt bad for the chicken, man. What can I do? It's in the moment. He didn't die, so I lose my course, and I'm out in the middle of I'm leading the race. I'm out in the middle of the bush, all by myself, with this rabid chicken trying to kill me, and I'm screaming for help, I lost the ribbons. I'm in the middle of the jungle by myself with this chicken trying to kill me, and so an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours go by, and I can't even take my hand off of the chicken to reach for my hydration bladder or food or fuel or anything. So now my fuel and hydration and everything went all to hell. I'm seriously crashing and bonking. This chicken's trying to kill me, and I'm lost, and I'm losing the lead. That was a low point for me. It was horrible. And that's when I bumped into Dylan. I made some big loop out in the track on the island, and before you know it, here's Dylan. Just big old smile. He's got this big old beautiful fluffy chicken. He's got one arm like this, and it's just bobbing. Here's Dylan's blonde hair, and there's this chicken just bobbing. They're bobbing through the woods. Paul, what you doing out here? And I've had the worst 3 hours of my life. And we paired up then, and the rest is history, more or less. It got a little more dynamic after that, but worst chicken. Tips on the chicken.
Yeah, what I found really worked is carry it like a rugby ball, not like an American football.
Yeah, easier said than done.
Yeah.
I think he gave his Quaaludes or some something. Put his anyways.
All right.
So what happens if your chicken doesn't make it?
That wasn't specified.
Okay.
I think with Kate's affinity for the chicken, she'd have probably sent us to wherever the chicken went after its death. Yes.
So, sort of a follow-up question to your story, Paul. What is your advice to not get lost?
So that can happen. Okay, this course is marked and there's ribbons, and the race organizers do their very best. They do a damn good job of marking the course. It can happen that weather, monkeys, kids, and whatever may alter the course a little bit on occasion. What you can do is to, once you know that you are not on the course, you always have got to reverse back to the last known ribbons. And do your best from there on. But the worst thing to do is to continue on and try to guess where it might connect and where it might have. You've just got to go to the last known point. It's just old Boy Scout 101 lesson. When you're lost, you just trace your steps back. That's what I wish I had done. I was so stressed out at the moment that I actually thought I was on the right trail and thought I was going to make it work. But you don't know where the course is going to go. There's no rhyme or reason to it. So
yeah, it's a balancing act between making sure you don't run too far without seeing a ribbon, but not turning back, not panicking too quickly. You're going to see. You just got to keep thinking about the ribbons. When last did I see one? Have there been any turnoffs? If there haven't been any turnoffs, just keep trucking. But you've got to keep your mind.
All right, so Margaret asks, if there were 3 to 5 Spanish phrases to learn for Nicaragua, what do you think would help you most to have known?
Yo quiero 2 frías cervezas, por favor. I would like 2 large cold beers. In seriousness, during the race, we didn't need any Spanish. It's great if you've got a couple of phrases to say thank you to the locals that are helping on the race. Maybe ask them how they are. Beyond that, you just need enough Spanish to be able to negotiate the transport to and from Ometepe and order some food.
yeah, you're coming to a Latin country. You're coming to a Spanish-speaking country. I don't care where you're from. I think you should have a handful of Spanish phrases, some cordial greetings, some niceties to say. Nicest people ever down there. You're gonna love these people. They're so cool. They're so nice. And out of respect, you got some. And I'm just gonna pick on some gringos, man, that go down there and out of laziness do not even give the hello and thank yous in local tongue. That personally, I think is rude. Okay, you've got people that are there taking care of you, giving you food, putting you up in their home and their hotel and so on. And it's a little peeve of mine. I think go out,
It's
some
not
pleases and thank yous and food and drinks and cover the basics. You can do that in a week. Have some fun doing it.
Yeah, you
but
really.
as far as on the course, you're not asking for directions.
With luck, you're not. I did one time, but
I
as
had to
Paul's.
ask for an egg in the middle of the night I woke up some family in the middle of the night looking to replace my egg. That was quite a story, but just learn some basics.
Yeah, no, I second Paul on that. It's just plain good manners. Just learn those few phrases. You maybe only need, I don't know, half a dozen phrases, and those you can learn in a couple days. Hello, how are you? Thank you very much. And even if you just have those few, people will appreciate it. Okay.
All right, we need some more questions from people here. We're running a little low. But we've got a warning from Jamie. Don't run with Jeff Murphy or Jamie Boyle. Do you know why?
It's good nuts. It's good nuts. Good hearing from you guys. Whoever's online, Tiffany, I see you on the Richie. Fire away a question or two here. We're only going to keep you guys for a few more minutes. But if there's something itching you want to know about and hear about how to best prepare for and how increase your odds to survive Survival Run Nicaragua or Survival Run Canada.
Well, why don't you tell us a bit about Survival Run Canada while we're waiting for more questions?
All right. Fantastic. Very excited about this. After Survival Run Nicaragua, was looked at the terrain there. We came back to Squamish, was looking at the terrain here and going, I think we could do something here. I think we could run up and down a few hills. And so I gave Josue a call. It took him maybe 10, 15 seconds to interrupt me and say, yes, we need to have this to happen. I'm very, very excited. It's happening in late August, August 24th, 25th. It's going to be a little bit longer. The terrain here, it lends itself to being a bit of a longer race than on Ometepe. So we're doing at least 100 kilometers. Ometepe for us was about 80, but who knows what Josue is doing this year. So it's at least 136 hours. It's going to require different sets of skills. We don't have trees that make sense to climb here, but we've got a lot of other obstacles. Don't worry, you do not have to carry a raccoon. That's not the alternative to a chicken. But yeah, very exciting. And so it's going to be a tough event as well. And I'm very happy with the field that it's attracted so far. It is a very strong field. Paul is one of the stars that's going to be running this race, and there's going to be some good competition at the front.
If you don't live in alpine terrain, I'd suggest finding some alpine terrain to know what that looks like and feels like. It's a whole lot of this and a whole lot of that.
Yeah, if you follow our Instagram accounts, Survival Run Canada, Brie and I will be throwing out tips and from time to time, warning, there may be red herrings.
So Darren Lund has asked for a hint on what's in store for Canada.
All right, recapping the hints I've already given, the vertical is more intense than hard rock, the toughest 100 miler in North America. Into other hints, go research Squamish. Once you see what people do around here, you're going to be able to get some pretty good clues as to where this race is going, what people are doing.
I suggest pad as much time as you can in Squamish. Come as early as you can, stay as long as you can. You're going to wish you had. Steep, alpine, incredible. Water for sure. I don't know anything about the course, but there's water everywhere. So, may I interject? Shoes. Richie Venancio from Proven Nutrition is asking about shoes, which is kind of important. It's kind of the main piece of equipment in these events.
Yeah, Paul and I are both, and Brie are all ambassadors for Ultra. We drink the Kool-Aid with Ultra running shoes, and we love them. But whatever good, solid trail shoe works for you, bring that here.
I'm a fan of the Ultra Paradigm. It is a max cushion. And while this is not an all-out straight 100K or 100 miler, it's that max cushion I really like and enjoy. It's very open space. I wear no socks. I think that's good in the tropics, in that wet climate. It works good for me. And Ultra Paradigm is, for me, the ultimate ultra running shoes. Available at ultrarunning.ca and your in Canada Running Room and Distance Runwear and Capra of Squamish and a million other stores.
Yes. That socks tip, great tip. I ran the first few kilometers at Nicaragua with socks because I was worried about sand getting in. My feet overheated horrendously. I took them off and didn't look back.
It's not something everybody can do that we do without socks. It's the way to go. I think.
Yeah. Other note on footwear for people that are coming to run Survival Run Canada. You will require running spikes, and we recommend Hill Sound, and we've just landed a deal with Hill Sound for our runners. If you don't have spikes, we can get them to you for a really good price.
All right, yeah. Margaret's got a good one here. How do you think you can best train for the terrain for both Canada and Nicaragua if you live in a city and aren't near mountains?
Solve the problem of living in a city not near the mountains. If you've got tall buildings, run up and down the tall buildings. If you can't do that, sprinting will give you strength in your legs. Paul is you're a huge believer in all over body conditioning. Do you have any other tips?
I said it earlier. Get into CrossFit. If you don't have mountains, no, CrossFit's not a running. It's not a, you think, how's that? But that strength and that speed work that we do in CrossFit will complement your running and speed work and track work, he suggested. But that legit strength training, running, you've got to be a decent runner. Let's just be honest about this. You just got to be a decent runner. You got to be strong as hell up here, and your back and body's got to be strong. And that comes from lifting and moving things. So that's an easy solution right there. It really is. I know it's not like I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, but it's just so damn easy.
Yeah.
Easy to access it.
Another thing you can do, it's a bit late perhaps for Nicaragua to fit in another trip to go running. but between now and Canada, go for a week or at least a long weekend somewhere there are mountains and just pound the hills. Even if you are power hiking up and down those hills, just go spend a few days. Even a few days will make the mind get ready.
Certainly practice downhill more than you believe, more than uphill. Uphill is easy to condition for. Downhill is something people do not condition much for. So
different technique, different mental side, different muscles. Yeah.
All right, we're getting near the end here, so if you have any unanswered questions, please comment with them. We've got another one here, though. You mentioned earlier that the huge military-style packs, not a good idea. What packs do you recommend?
Light running packs. We've got a little of Salomon. We just find it fits on our bodies really well. But if you find Nathan or Ultimate Direction work for you, that's fine. But a proper running pack where you can have access to your nutrition and your water up front easily. You've got some places you can tie a little bit of string. Complete win.
Got to be creative the more small you get because the required equipment. But
10 liters. Yeah. You should be able to fit into 10 liters if you're careful.
Go small and practice and load it up with what the race is going to require and more, and be able to carry that water. And you're in jungle, you're in technical bush a lot, so you cannot have stuff falling off you and stuff snagging and stuff jiggling. So just test and run that pack a lot. My tip.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie says, it looks like you're getting a good competition lined up for Survival Run Canada. Are you excited?
Very excited. This is going to be a really strong field, and I'm looking forward to the hate mail afterwards.
And then maybe to wrap this up, just one last piece of advice or tidbit from each of you. It's
when I got into distance running, I was told that it's 80% mental and 20% in your head. That's even more true for survival run. We've said it again and again. You don't have to be fast. You just have to be You just have to be able to keep moving forward, and you have to be smart.
Get strong. Get strong. Get strong. Get strong.
Mm-hmm.
After that, get more strong. Get core from proven nutrition. If you want an ultra running fuel, that's really, I think Richie put in there, but that stuff's incredible. Hope that helps.
Good. Paul, to wrap it up, you're very active on social media. If people want to ask questions, follow you, get more tips on see how you're training, where can they follow you?
I got myself a YouTube channel that just went live here last month, so I'm packing that full of coaching tips and videos, and giving back to the run world. So I think that's could be helpful. Easy to find on Facebook and Instagram. Just sharing my lifestyle, just as you guys are all doing, building this community. And I've also got
What's the name of the channel?
Yeah, Paul Romero. Easy to find on YouTube. I've also starting in April, I'm putting on some super camp, 7-day run camps in Maui, Hawaii, on the beach. Complete immersion into strength conditioning, run, the barbell, CrossFits, getting strong, getting nutrition program completely dialed. It can be found at Uprise Performance, upriseperformancecamps.com. And if you want to come play with us in Maui and get you strong, quick, get you indoctrinated. Great.
And then, if you've got questions for Bree and myself, we're at Sweaty Yeti CA for Instagram, or as sweaty-yeti.ca as our website. It's going live now. It's just announcing it now. We are going... Sorry?
Sweet.
Yeah, and we're going to be doing some running camps up in Bella Coola in beautiful British Columbia, and Paul and I are going to be doing a running camp focused on survival run training here in Squamish. Dates, we're finalizing the dates, but that's going to be middle of the year. We are not going to be giving you any hints on exactly what the course is, but you're going to be able to get here and see the terrain, run on the terrain. So those are where you can follow.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
One last question. If anyone here wants to sign up for these races, how do they go about doing that?
Fantastic, very good questions. Go to fuegoyagua.org. That's FUEGOYAGUA.org, or look for Fuego y Agua on Facebook. Those will get you there for both Survival Run Nicaragua and Survival Run Canada.
Great.
All right.
Sweet. It was good times, guys.
Guys, thanks.
Looking forward to seeing you there, maybe on the ferry ride or over in the beach in Ometepe. Phenomenal. If you're on top of the fence, let me give one last. If you're on top of the fence about racing, and it seems like it's too much, and you just want to go see it, why not volunteer, right?
Mm-hmm.
I could always use more staff. I imagine I'm speaking for the race organizers, but man, what an incredible army of volunteers they had. And I know from running events, you can always use more good volunteers. Okay. And that'd be one way to come see Nicaragua, and or follow the other side of the fence and jump in and register and race. Mind blowing.
Fantastic, that's a great idea. And if you go to Sweaty Yeti, you can volunteer for Survival Run Canada. Anyone that maybe didn't catch the whole of this live Q&A, we're going to be posting it on the Fuego y Agua and Sweaty Yeti Facebook pages, so people can go there, and please hit us up for questions. Fantastic.
Thanks, Bree. She did amazing. Give it up for Bree. Give it up for Bree. And this dog, this crazy dog.
And Ultra Pup. Yes. Guys, thank you very much.
Signing out from Squamish.
Margaret, thank you so much for quarterbacking us from down south. Cheers.